Hello, this is going to be lab number 6, network management. So to get further ado, we're going to be doing 3 objectives, which is going to be analyzing CPU network utilization with performance monitor, using event viewer to view logs, and then manage patches and updates. So without further ado, we'll just get started on the first objective. Okay, so the first thing we want to do when using these management tools would be to first check out performance monitor. So in order to do that, first we're going to search up performance monitor. It's the first thing that pops up. We're going to go to the performance monitor tab. I'm going to make this full screen. Okay, full screen. So we realize here, this right here is going to be acting as our baseline. So right here, what it's tracking is the percentage processing time. So it's just tracking the amount of the percentage in which CPU is being utilized. So that's just being tracked now. It currently shows that like the baseline is basically 0 to none for the percentage useless. However, we want to create some type of demonstration on how it's properly used. So we're going to be using defrag in order to do this. So we're going to be clicking defrag. Oh, spell it clear. Disfragmentation. Then we're going to be doing analyzing disk. So as you realize, as soon as we start doing that, CPU usage will start to spike up since the CPU is being used, the process is being used. So right here, our time right here through 59 to 10 p.m. That time right there is kind of our baseline, showing us that like basically none of the CPU is being used, and then it's actually showing us it's tracking how it's being used for the percentage being utilized after we after we do a certain task. So obviously, when you use more CPU, it might slow down your other processes. So there's another way to like figure out what might be slowing down or around what time will these processes start slowing down. So yeah, slower and whatnot. So we can compare these graphs, and now moving on to the next task. Okay, so now we're going to be doing network tracking. So yeah, we're going to quickly go through that. So first, we want to kind of eliminate the processing since we're not going to be tracking that anymore. So we're going to be kind of erasing the percentage for processing. So, oh, you don't go properties yet. You want to remove all counters. So are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, we're going to be removing all counters, and we're left with nothing. So what we did right there, we kind of just removed the percentage of process that's being tracked, and now we're going to be adding something new. So we're going to be going counters, and we're going to be heading towards the network section. So I do have to go back for that since I don't remember which network interface. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna head into a network interface category. So it should be network interface here. So we're gonna click plus in this, and what we want to do is put bytes received per second. So that's the one we're gonna be playing. Bytes received per second. We're gonna be adding auth instances. I don't think it's oh sorry, we're gonna be adding the network connection. So we'll be adding that. There you go for the yeah for that. Yeah. And then we're quickly just gonna click, yeah, we're clicking add. That's added. We're just gonna click OK. So yeah, and then we're gonna click OK again. And there you go. So now there's no so as you can see, the baseline is currently 0 since there's no traffic being generated within the computer. So we want to generate some traffic that's being received. So in order to do that, we're gonna quickly head into our backtrack machine, which is Linux distribution. So backtrack R3. You're gonna be using this. So BT terminal. We're gonna quickly make a flood command. So this flood command, I do not remember, so I kind of had to look right here. Yeah. So H ping 3 space / flood 190 192 168 168 12.10. So this is a command that we're going to be using to kind of mass flood or mass ping the server. Not the server. It's I hope that is a server. I'm not sure. Let me. No, it's just there's a Windows 2008 server. So yeah, we're mass pinging the server, 2008 server. As you can see here, as soon as we do that, as soon as we let our Linux machine start pinging the server, traffic is being generated for our our Windows 2008 server. So yeah, it's cool. Now, as you can see, currently as it stands, it's kind of going above the limit that we put for the tracking. So we want to kind of see the actual total amount. In order to do that, we're going to head into property and we want to scale it. So we want to add more to scale so we could see everything. In this case, it's going to be 000001. So 000001. That's going to be our scale that we're going to be using. So we're going to click apply. And there you go. As soon as we do that, then we can actually see the full amount that's being received. These are the bytes that are being received. So immediately you should see the bytes received. And so that's just one way you could do this. This is network monitoring. So that's one of the things we do. Now we're gonna move on to the next step. I also do want to note that since there's like a limited amount of space for the tracking, it's gonna start overwriting itself. So right now, as you can see, the more it's heading towards the right, the more it's just like erasing the previous data that was set upon, or that was there originally. So it's erasing previous data and rewriting it into the new timing. So I did want to mention that quickly. So yeah, obviously you could add more time into it, but yeah, just a little something that you should know. Okay, so next thing we're going to be doing, that we are doing is using resource monitors. So just this quick rundown of how it works. It's basically tracking system utilization, or more like system resources. So it's tracking system resources that are within your computer. So here's an overview of everything that's being used. There's process ID, there's descriptions. Kind of gives everything. So CPU, it's giving us a process ID. So if we were to check this mark, we would check mark that. It would kind of filter out everything that's associated with performance monitor.exe. So everything's going to be associated with that. So associated handles, and we'll see everything that's associated with that .exe or executable. So then we're going to kind of like go through memory, since that's also an option that for processing. So there's memory. There's also disk. There's only 3 processors right now. It's strange. Yeah, there's only 3 processes for disk, but towards the right, it's also showing us like a mini graph of a mini visual of how the data looks like over time. So we could track a bunch of things with this. We could monitor our network and our computers by using performance resource monitors. So there's a bunch. It's a great utilization of a tool that you could use. Which processes, especially for networks. So you see here 10 kbps, and it's just showing us everything that's associated with the network right now. So there's 4 processes currently, and if you for DNS, it'd show a certain out of network activity that's associated with DNS.exe. So yeah, there's another very useful tool that you could use for monitoring your resources or monitoring your network. So now moving on to the next thing we're going to be doing is using the event viewer to view certain logs. So without further ado, what we would first do is head into event viewer itself. So in the search bar, we're going to search up event viewer. So this is the first thing that pops up when we click event. So yeah, here you go. Within event viewer, there's this overview. Now this overview has a bunch of information, but we're first going to be looking at the summary of administrator events for one example of how to use event viewer. So right here, we kind of have an overview summary of critical things that are happening. So basically, these different categories are kind of like they tell you critical errors, warnings, information, audit success, and audit failures. If you want more information, I assume you just click help, and it'll show you everything. Show you what the different categories mean. I assume somewhere around here would be. I'll be back. I will try to check where to find it. Unfortunately, I was not able to find within the event viewer where it would tell us about the categories and its information. However, I do know that critical means this is something an event that took place where the system was not able to recover that certain process or information. Error means that there was a certain problem that the system, that like some piece of software application was not able to, it's just an error. It just shows errors. So warning is simply something not necessarily critical, but however, it could be in risk of failure. So that's what warning is. Information is just information that just shows whether success or failure, and that doesn't necessarily have to be at risk for that. Audit success are basically just successful logins, and audit failures are unsuccessful logins. So for this demonstration, I'll be showing one example of an audit failure. So previously, when I was trying to log into this computer, I had accidentally inputted the wrong password, so that would count as an audit failure, an unsuccessful login. So how we were going to view this is first clicking the first being in the summary of administrator events, and then double clicking the process, or the event ID, which is 4625. Double clicking that, and it's going to lead us to this new page, which is going to give it, which is a summary or kind of tracking of all the unsuccessful audits that were performed. So if you want to do date and time, this is how we're going to be doing this. So date and time information. So the most I guess I had done 3 unsuccessful logins. Yeah, since I probably didn't get the password right 3 times. So it's going to show here at 9:51, which is about 30 minutes ago, I was unsuccessful in logging in to the computer. So we're going to click the most recent one, which is 51:40. So 10 seconds, or sorry, quite a time ago, since it's been around 30 minutes. So we double click, and it's heading into the properties of the certain audit, of the certain monitor event. So you can currently see login name, security, source Microsoft Windows security auditing. The ID, it's giving us information, what type of level it is. So it isn't warning, it's just showing us whether it was success or failure. Task category, which is login. Keywords, audit failure. It tells us the computer. It tells us, it can give us even more information if we go online. We click details, and it's giving us, it's going into more details. So event data. So this the computer the user logged into. So, or tried to log into. You can see that the user was administrator. It was within the internal one computer, and yeah. So there you go. Process name. It's giving us a bunch of important information. So yes, this is one example of event viewer. We'll be moving on to the next task. So previously we did an example of audit failure and tracking that event within the overview and summary. However, one other way we could do this is through Windows logs. So we would quickly first click Windows logs, and then within security is where we would find audit successes and audit failures, since that's a category, a subcategory of Windows logs. So Windows logs consist of different categories: application, security, setup, system, forward, events, and it shows us the size of these audits. So if you see that an audit or is too much space on, or storage that's being stored, too much data for one audit, you kind of clear that. Or if you just, it's useful information to have the size of the audits. And yeah, we're going to quickly go into security. Within security, there is audit failures and audit successes. Now this goes back to where we were doing our first time, which has an audit failure. It has 3 audit failures, and we were able to do that. So it's going to lead us the same thing. Another thing we could do is system. So within Windows logs, we can have system information. Now we're going to quickly go into level to make it so now it's descending, which is giving us, oh, we don't want to click on anything. We're going to go on the top, and ascending means that it's giving us from error. So the most critical to least critical. So in this situation, we're going to quickly double tap random error, and then go details. Or sorry, general. So this is going to give us in which a warning why this happens, and give us the detail. And if we ever need more help, we would click the event log online help, which is forward us to kind of a knowledge base on other people who have this problem, or on whether it's okay or not to have this certain warning. So this is one of the things we can do with the event viewer. It's very useful. It tracks information, and it's another way we can monitor our network / computer. So we'll be moving on to subject number 3 in part 2. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you.